Okay, great. Welcome everybody to this webinar where you just saw a brief introduction video already, how it is to study at the Radboud University in the Netherlands. But you're going to hear much more about this university, but also about the program, the molecular mechanisms of disease. And the research master, we're going to hear all about that in the next 45 minutes or so. Now, we have three great presenters lined up for you. But before we go over to them, a couple of things just to explain, what you can do and interact with us. So I already saw some people wrote in the chat where they're logging in from. Great to see that. So by all means, everyone, just write where you're logging in. It's nice for everyone to see the diversity as well from the different countries. And but second of all, maybe most important is the question tab, where you see at the right bottom. That's where you can write your questions at any time, and we will be answering the questions right after the presentation. So do stick along and hear that. Now, third of all, I will open up some polling questions for you. They will come along in the polling tab along the way. So watch out for those. And we like to hear your feedback, of course. And last but not least, a little fun button, an interactive button at the bottom of the screen where you see a button called React. If you click on that, you can write your emoticon of choice. If you hear something you like, for example, yes, then give us some of those because it's just fun for the presenters as well. And talking about the presenters, let's go over to them. We'll go over to Luz. She will introduce herself and her colleagues, and take it from there.
Thank you, Luc. Welcome, everyone. I think you will open the slides and the big screen. Yes, thank you. So today we'll have a webinar about the Research Master Molecular Mechanisms of Disease. It's a real tongue breaker, so we usually just say MMD, much easier. We're not talking about other programs today. We're also not talking about PhD or bachelor level programs. If you have any interest in those in different fields, please go to our website, the Radboud University website. You can find all the information there. So today we talk about molecular mechanisms of disease. I'll start with an introduction about the Netherlands and the city, and then pass on the word. My name is Luz, or Lois. I'm one of the admissions officers for this program. And with me today are Anne-Marie, she's the program coordinator, and Mami, who's an international first-year student. We'll share a bit about his experiences. But I'm going to get started with a little bit about the Netherlands. For those of you who are not so aware, we are very famous for our windmills and tulips. But we're also very strong in education. So all our research universities are in the top 1% of the world. And after the UK and the US, we have the most universities in the top 200. So for such a small country, we're doing really well. And what's also very nice and good to know about the Netherlands is that almost everyone speaks a little bit of English. Not everyone speaks it as well as the academic society, but I think a big difference with studying in Germany or in France is that as soon as you leave campus there, people don't speak English. In the Netherlands, everyone speaks enough English to give you directions or to help you on your way. This picture with the windmills, you won't see that much on our side of the country. We are on the German side, the east side of the country, very close to the border. And our city is called Nijmegen or Nimwegen. And we're the oldest city in the Netherlands. So you'll see a lot of historic buildings, but also a very young vibe. We have it's a medium-sized city, around 180,000 inhabitants, but 45,000 of them are students. So there's always something going on for students. There's really a lively student community. I do like the fun emoji-con options. It's nice to see. Then, as I mentioned, 45,000 students in Nijmegen. That's because we have two universities. We have a University of Applied Sciences and we have Radboud University. We are a research university, one of the 13 in the Netherlands. And our university is what they call a comprehensive university. That means we cover a lot of fields from law to management to theology to science to arts and medical sciences. 7 different faculties in the fields I just mentioned, 17 research institutes, and 25,000 students. And the picture you see here is actually from our Faculty of Medical Sciences, where our program is based, the one we're talking about today. Our campus is also a very green campus, both in terms of sustainability and in terms of landscape. Sustainability, you already saw in the video at the beginning, is integrated in each curriculum. So in every course or in every program, you study a little bit about how this specific topic will, what you can do in terms of sustainability in this specific topic, but also in terms of our buildings. For example, we aim to become 100% energy neutral, and our newer builds are already there. We also have some nice old historic buildings. They are a bit trickier, but then they're also really nice because they tell a little bit of the history. The building you see here in the picture, for example, is the old hunting lodge from the Jurgens family. They started Unilever, very famous company. And they used to come here in the weekend to go hunting. So the whole campus grounds are the old hunting grounds, old forests. So you still see a lot of old trees and park-like landscape. And our campus is around 2 square kilometers where all the faculties are together. So that really encourages to work interdisciplinary with other faculties, but it's also very convenient to be close to the sports center, the library, the food court, etc. So I really love our campus. And we are, as I mentioned, one of the 7 faculties. And I think what's quite unique about our faculty is that we are a collaboration between the university and the hospital. So Radboud University Medical Center is the hospital. And we work together with Radboud University on offering a number of programs. And that means that all our staff is employed by the hospital and we're located in the hospital. So very strong connections to the clinic, to the easy in contact with patients and finding your research internship. And as Annemarie will also talk about a lot, a strong focus on translational research. And at the bottom, you also see the 2 logos, Radboud University in red and Radboud UMC in blue. You will see that a lot when you come and study here. I'm going to pass the word to Annemarie, and she will tell you a little bit more about our program.
Okay, well, hello everyone. I'm the program coordinator of MMD. Yes, and I've got the slides now, so I'll tell you a bit about our program, what it looks like, how you will spend the 2 years studying with us if you decide to apply for MMD. So what our aims are as a master's program to establish a bridge between fundamental research and human disease. That means that you have courses on core knowledge, but also on how cellular processes apply to human disease. And we believe that by understanding the molecular basis of disease, we can develop better diagnosis and treatment. Also, we want to teach our students in the most interactive and engaging way. And I will show you a bit of our view on that and how we do that. So we have some key themes that we center our program around. What you usually see in a research master is that it is focused on one specific topic, for example, immunity. But what we have here in Nijmegen with MMD is that we offer you a broad basis of all cell biology, all processes. So in the field of immunity, infection and inflammation, metabolism, transport and motion, and cell growth and differentiation. And in these 3 topics, you have courses, theoretical courses, and translational courses that I will tell you a bit more about. And then we offer you the opportunity to go more in depth on what you think is really interesting in your research internships. There are 2 of those of 5 and 7 months. And what we also focus on a lot is scientific skills, because we are a research master and we train you to become a researcher, either in academia or in industry. And for that, we believe you need knowledge, but you also need skills such as presentation, academic writing, teamwork, that sort of things. And what is nice to mention is that the MMD program is the #1 master in life sciences in the Netherlands. Every year there is a survey among students, and based on that, we have been mentioned as an excellent master programs for 8 of the past 10 years, and there was some COVID interruption in there as well. So it really shows that our students appreciate our program a lot. So a bit more about the program, what it looks like. It's a 2 years program, and in the first year you start with 5 months of theoretical courses. These are an introductory course where you get to know the program and your fellow students. We focus on scientific communication and statistics. And then for three topics that I told you about, the immunity, metabolism, and cell growth, we have 2 courses, a core fundamental and a translational course. And you can see it as that in the core fundamental, you learn about the basic cellular processes. And in the translational course, you translate that to disease. What is going wrong? How do we fix it again? Other than that, we also have computational biology, and there's a master class in the first year that I'll tell you a bit more about. Then our students start with their internship. Mami just started a couple of weeks ago here at the Radboud UMC. You do your first internship here in the University Medical Center. You get to know a lot of interesting research, and I think Mami will also tell you a bit about that. And during your internship, we have scientific skills workshops where you develop yourself a bit further in different fields, and you can also take elective courses. In the second year, you continue with a month of MMD courses, and this focuses on data analysis, science and society, and another masterclass, and then you have room for more electives. And electives can be anything you want. There are some rules and they have to be approved, but you can take them here at the Faculty of Medical Sciences. You can take them what we call across the road at the Faculty of Science, or decide for yourself. And then our students go off to do a second internship, which is a bit longer, and most of our students decide to do that abroad, which is something that we also stimulate a lot. It's good to mention that the courses in the first year, from September to January, and the month of courses in the second year, they are all obligatory. They are part of MMD, and the internships are decided by yourself. And also, all MMD courses are taught in person. So it's not an online master's you can follow. You really need to get here to the Netherlands and enjoy the city. So what makes MMD a unique program? We have a highly structured program. Like a lot of the courses in MMD are obligatory, but they also allow you to focus on one subject at a time, instead of some other programs where you might have to juggle several subjects at the same time. We have a very international student group. I think our current student group has 7 different nationalities, I believe. And we are always at maximally 24 students a year so that we can focus on small-scale teaching. Because of that, because of the small group, you also have close contact with the researchers of the University Medical Center, who are all experienced researchers in their field and love to teach our students. Let's see. Like I said, we focus on academic skills, but we also pay attention to personal and professional development. For example, every student has a personal mentor to help them plan their individual program of study. And we prepare for a number of careers inside and outside academia. So let me show you a bit of the unique course structures that we have and how we focus on skill-oriented interactive learning. For each of the 3 topics, we have a translational course where you understand the meaning behind the fundamental knowledge. And these are 3 short courses of just 7 days, 7 working days, in which you have 4 days in which you cover 4 diseases. And during that day, you have a number of lectures, but also an assignment. And our students really say it makes you feel like you become an expert in that disease in a day. Then you have 2 study days and then an exam. For each of the 4 days, there's an afternoon assignment. So this is an example from our translational course, Developmental Disorders and Malignancies, where you cover blood cell disorders, neuropathology, hereditary colorectal cancers, molecular imaging. And then in the afternoon, you work together in groups to do presentations, prepare pitches. You also meet with patients, which is really nice to see the patient perspective of a disease. What does it really mean? What are you achieving for the patient? And you have interaction
I think we lost the
Yeah.
sound. I think Annemarie's frozen for a moment. So shall I take over for a moment until she's back?
Yes, please do.
All right. And I think she pretty much finished with this slide, but after the 4 days where you become expert in a day, you have 2 study days, so a time to prepare for your exam and process everything you were taught, and then you have exam on the last day. Yeah, she mentioned master classes before. A master class is a 1-week course where you really dive into a hot research, international speakers who are working on. They present their own most recent research, and the week consists of journal clubs where you speak with experts. Seminars are offered. You meet with the speaker, and we always hear from students that's a very educational experience, also a bit scary sometimes if you're having to lead discussions, etc. And now we lost Mami as well, and they're both in the hospital at the moment, so I think there's a bit of a problem with the internet there. This is what the 2 years look like. You can see year 1 in the background along the horizontal line. The theoretical courses, they run for 5 months, and then you have the internship that runs for 5 months. And in year 2, you have the elective course and the internship. But through all that, in the vertical lines, we have personal and professional development that runs from the beginning of year 1 till well in the end of year 2. In year 1, during the end of the first semester and all through the second semester, there's scientific skills, and there's computational data analysis that also runs from the first year well into the second year. So that also means when you're doing your internship that every now and again you have to take an afternoon off from the internship to come to a scientific skills workshop, for example. And of course, doing your first internship in the hospital, the supervisors are aware of that, and that's they are counting on that. Furthermore, in personal and professional development, we have 1.5 EC European credits. That means 1 EC is 28 hours in different activities spread over the 2 years. I think Mami's back. Hopefully, Annemarie will be back in a moment soon. You learn to critically reflect on yourself, but also on your environment, on the next steps in your program, and also in your career. And during the introductory course, for example, we have some personality tests and team roles. In the scientific skills workshop, you might learn how to write a CV or a motivation letter. And then we have some career events together with alumni, with career office, where you can speak to people who now work in the field who did MMD maybe a few years ago, maybe much more years ago, so you can see where they end up, and that will help you in planning your own career. And I think what was already mentioned before as well is that you'll be in very close contact with experienced researchers. Everyone gets assigned a mentor who will also be one of the Rabat UMC scientists or the MMD lecturers. And with this mentor, you can discuss the choices you got to make, how to go about finding your internship, etc. Annemarie is back. I'm not sure if the sound is also back already.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to take over again, I'm very happy to pass it on to you again.
Yes.
It's just on the personal mentoring part.
Yeah. So with your mentor, you discuss a couple of things. And the really nice thing is that they're actually people that went through what you've been through, because they're all researchers at our university medical center now, which means that at some point they were master students and PhD students. So they really know how to get where you want to go. Also, of course, when there's any other personal problems or you want more advice about your studies, we have a study advisor that can help you there. So during your first internship, you have some afternoon workshops on scientific skills. And this ranges all the way from CV writing, data management, to how to write your internship report, how to design figures for that. So it really helps you with a lot of the practical stuff that you come across during your internship, but also afterwards. And then something that we focus on is computational data analysis. Some of you, or a lot of you, might have experience in the wet lab, but we see that a lot more research is now also being done through the computer. So bioinformatics is becoming a lot more important. It used to be a case in my time that you might be able to ignore it, but there are people who say, well, in the future, everyone will do big data analysis. I don't know if that's true, but it's really good for you to have a basis in that. So for that reason, we have 3 courses throughout the first and second year that prepare you for that. And this is also a line that helps you develop. So this was all about what you do during MMD. You learn a lot of knowledge, you learn a lot of skills, but what does it prepare you for? Well, we have a lot of alumni now, because MMD has been running for, I think, 25 years almost. And we see persons working in varying positions in academia and industry. Some are now group leaders in academia, others are working in industry, either as a researcher or maybe also as a marketing specialist, things like that. We have alumni who started their own company. We have alumni who do science communications for one of the biggest newspapers in the Netherlands. So it's really broad. A lot of our students do a PhD after MMD, but after that you see almost everything that you can imagine in this field. So we have some testimonials from alumni as well, and we provided a link to that. If you go to the bottom right to apps, I think you see links, and there you can find the testimonials. For example, the story from Lisa, who tells about how the skills that she developed during MMD still help her today. She's currently working as a postdoc in Berlin. So here you can also see that while maybe a lot of MMD students are going on in academia and are postdocs, we see a lot of different things: advisors, clinical chemists, product managers, policy advisors. And we have a really nice video as well, where one of our students talks about what's next after graduating MMD, and there's some alumni telling about their journey. So now that you know a lot about MMD and what you can do with that, the question is really for you. Will you be part of our next student cohort this year in 2025, or maybe next year in 26? Well, if you are aiming to make a valuable contribution to biomedical research in academia or industry, if you're curious to learn more about disease mechanisms and are eager to look across borders and work together with international students, then this is the master's program for you. And one of those students who I think embodies all these things is Mani. So he's back just in time for me to hand over the word to him.
Thanks so much, Anna-Marie, and welcome you all. I would like to briefly explain my experiences as a first-year MMD student here. I would like to start with who I am. I did my bachelor in Turkey, in Istanbul, in molecular biology and genetics. Then I had a job experience at as a research assistant in this States. Then I would like to continue my academic way. That's why I joined the Radboud University for MMD program. And I would like to discuss why did I choose MMD. First of all, I knew that I was very into research, and this program is highly research oriented, as I can say. And as also Anna-Marie has just discussed, there are three main research teams: immunology, metabolism, and the cell growth and differentiation. And in the whatever you're gonna choose in the specialization in the future, you will definitely utilize one of these teams. So I think it's very nice that we have this broad, yet also in very depth knowledge of different areas. And in addition to the research skills that we're going to obtain in the MMD, we also have very soft skills, I can say, where basically we have to work with different kind of people from different from all over the world, and so it represents the real world, but in a more safe environment, I can say that. And it's very structured program. So I know what I'm going to do in a couple of months or during the program, and it really relieves me in terms of I don't have to plan that much of thing except my internships. And having said that, internships, there are 2 internship opportunities. And one of them is also Anna Maria just discussed, is generally in here in Nijmegen in Radboud UMC. So it's almost, yeah, not almost every MMD student get an internship here. And then we have an opportunity to do our internship abroad and in the areas that we are more interested in. And another reason that I choose MMD, we are a very small group, I would say. And I think it's lovely because in the end of the day, we are in an environment that very firstly, we can just make friends very easily, and we can discuss during the lunch times and during the project times whatever people are interested in, whatever they want to do. So it's also a very collaborative environment. And we have a personal mentor. I think this is precious because in the end of the day, we discuss with a mentor who is in the research area for a long time, and in a month. So every month we discuss with them about what we have been through, what we want to do. And I think it's lovely because in the end of the day, they're much more experienced than us. So it's nice to discuss with them, and they give you some advice sometimes, or you discuss on a specific topic that you would like to discuss. And for me, this is very unique that I really like it. MMD is more than just a textbook. And what I mean by that, in bachelors, they come and they talk about the textbook. This is what they did. This is what they did. But in MMD, people come and they talk about their own research. I think it's really priceless because they don't only talk about what they have done, but they talk about their challenges, their opportunities, what kind of problems they have seen, and how they solved each of them, or if they could solve each of them. I think it's very priceless of MMD. And researchers are here quite reachable. And what I mean by that, you can just send an email and discuss with them if you have any questions. And we have very close contact with the patients, as we discussed in the translational courses. We see the patients. So we really make a connection between what we're doing in lab and how it is transforming to the real life. Also, in terms of career development, that I'm going to also discuss about it, we talk about, we have this scientific skills where we discuss, okay, now how are we going to make CV? How are we going to show what we have really done? How are we going to write down a motivational letter? And what are the opportunities out there in industry and in academia, both of them? And what are the challenges? What are the positive sides of them, each of them? I also enjoy the pace of courses. And what I mean by that, I would say they're very structured, and we can be just, of course, not an expert, but an expert in a day. So we know what's really happening in that area. So these are the old reasons that I would like to discuss, that why I choose MMD. Now I would like to talk about a little bit about student sports and as a life as a student here. First of all, we have a very lovely admission office. Thanks to all. During all of these admission processes, visa processes, I mean, they all went through smoothly for each of us. And we have information seasons that are taking place regularly, so we know what's going to happen in the next time. And we have the introduction days where we basically just enjoy the city together with other MMDs. And we have the MMD meetings where we met with alumni and each other. And then lastly, we have study advisors. So basically, if we have any challenge, or if you just want to have a talk, these are the people that we can go through and talk about our experiences, I mean, being abroad, or whatever comes to your mind, such as, okay, how can I study for this specific topic, and etc. And for extracurricular activities, as MMD, yeah, I keep saying that we're a very small group of people, so we're like a compulsory family, we call to each other. But since we take the courses together and we are together all day, we became very close friends. And generally after the lectures, we go through the different stuff. We go to the here kermis in the Netherlands. It's very famous. We go to the pole and other more activities. And I would like to also say that for those of you who love to do sports, they have a very huge sports center here, and there are many sports that even I never heard of them before. Personally, I choose the Rad Budo there, and you can also make friends there, and the trainings in the weekends or after the lectures. And it's really helped me for my adaptation to the country as well, both MMD atmosphere and the sports. So what kind of skills that we're going to improve in MMD? It's broad. We're going to talk about, so sometimes in each every day we're going to talk about a specific disease, but it's going to be also depth. You guys will make a lot of presentations. I think this is very important. Now I'm starting my internships and we are starting to do presentations, and as MMDs we're just making the jokes, oh okay, now we can just deal it in a day. And also in addition to that, we wrote grants. It's basically going to be our job, and we work in a team, so we learn also how to work in a team, because in our day we all have dark sides, that blind sides also, that we don't know, that maybe we can do it better. And I think working in this small safe group, it really helps us to understand, okay, what can I do better in a group? And also technical skills, I would love to say, especially in the internship, yeah, now we have the literature, we know what's going to happen, but how do they come to that point? And then lastly, career opportunities, I would like to say, this is from a company visit, Jibo Pro. So not only in academia, but we have the opportunity to meet people from the companies, what they do, how they do it, and etc. And lastly, I would like to talk about interview experience, because we get a lot of questions about it. First, I would like to say that it was a very nice discussion with scientists for me. Please don't feel the pressure. They just want to get to know you. Yes, they ask 15 questions, but before the interview, you get keywords and the themes for that. And studying is not requirement. It's basically very fundamental questions, I would say. And they want to get to know you. And you don't have to answer all the questions correctly, as far as I know. But they want to get to know you. And it was nice, because in the end of the day, you discuss with the scientist. And then lastly, I would like to thank my MMD cohort. We are from different 10 countries. And of course, having each other makes it always easier. I would like to thank each of them. Now it was all from me. I'm open to any questions. I would like to give it to Lois for practical information.
Thank you very much, Mami, for sharing your experience. It's lovely to see the picture of your cohort again as well. All right, so practical information. Now you know all about our program, and I'm sure you love it, because it's the best program that we have, I think, to be honest. But how do you know if it's the right program for you, if you are the good match for this program? So we'll look at admission requirements. You have to have a bachelor in a similar field. It has to be life sciences, biomedical sciences, molecular chemistry, biochemistry, something that is related. We mentioned a few of them here on the slide. This is not an exhaustive list. So if you're not sure, there's also a eligibility check on our website that you can fill in, but you can also contact us and we can let you know. And apart from if your background is the right content, we also look at your grades. So we look at students with grades above average, a strong motivation to contribute to biomedical science, biomedical research, and at least 2 months of research experience. And this could be a research project or an internship in your bachelor. This could also be voluntary or paid work afterwards. So we look at a complete package, not just at one of these things. If you then decide that you want to apply, you start with going to StudyLink, which is the Dutch national system, and there you choose up to 4 programs. If you choose MMD as one of them, you will automatically receive your Osiris login, which is the university application system. And there you upload some documents that we mentioned here, so a motivation letter, a resume, 2 reference letters from academics, your official transcripts, course descriptions from courses that you haven't taken yet, but we're not too strict with those, a short description of your research experience, and if you already have them, your diploma and your English test. And if any of those are not in English or Dutch, then please have a sworn translation of the official documents as well. Non-European students are also required to pay a handling fee of 75 euros. You can apply for up to 4 programs with 1 fee, and you will get it back once you're enrolled. And also, if you defer, you don't have to pay it again. So that's only for non-European students. Once you've done all that, you can submit your application. If you are reaching the deadline and it's not complete yet, please submit it incomplete, because then you'll get another 14 days to complete it. Whereas if you miss the deadline, you're just too late. And speaking, and if we then received your full application package, we first do a check if it's complete. So that's me and my colleagues. Is it complete? Are all the documents the ones we are requested? Are they good to read? If yes, they go to the selection committee. They say, based on the paperwork, you can go to round 2, which is the interview or not. And if you do get the interview, then we will plan it with you, and it will be with 2 MMD lecturers or scientists, where, as Mami already mentioned, there will be some fundamental knowledge questions, but also we will look into your ability to grasp concepts and your motivation. And this interview will be online in English, and we will suggest a date, but if you can't make it that date, we're happy to change that. If the outcome of the interview is positive, you will be placed on the waiting list together with all the other students who had a positive outcome. And then we have 4 meetings in the year where we place a number of students. And we look at the waiting list and we place the highest ranking students. And here you can see when the 4 meetings are and how many students we will place out of the 24 places that we have. Next meeting is actually coming Monday, so exciting times for us. You can probably also tell it's good to apply early, because a lot of the students are placed in the first 2 meetings. If you're not placed in the first one, you will still be on the waiting list for the second one or the third one. Depends also a lot on the other students, on the other applicants. We never lower the bar. If we don't reach 24, then we start with less students, like it was in Mami's year. There is a chance, if we have a lot of good students, that you might have to wait a little bit longer on the waiting list. And after the last meeting, we can only admit more students if others withdraw. And if you did really, really well in the interview, in exceptional cases, we can decide to admit you directly to the program and not let you wait on the waiting list for the meetings. Yeah, I mentioned earlier there are deadlines. On the 1st of October every year, our application opens for September the next year. So we're currently processing all the applications for start in September 2025. That's also the only starting moment of our program, 1st of September 2025. The first deadline is the 31st of January. Unfortunately, this year that has already passed. That is the deadline for our university scholarships. And the next one is the 1st of April for non-European applicants and the 1st of May for all other students. Tuition fees, also important, of course. For European students in the coming year, it's €2,601, and for non-European students, it's 19,224. So the European amount that we mention here is the same for all Dutch programs in the whole country. If you're a European student, you pay the same amount. The non-European fees may differ per university. We do realize that is a lot of money, so there are some scholarships available. For 2025, we had 6 Radboud Encouragement Scholarships, which are full scholarships. We don't know yet for 2026. We will post it on the website as soon as we know it, so keep an eye on there. The deadline, again, is the 31st of January. So if you need a scholarship, you'll be looking at next year, not the running year, unfortunately. There are also some websites here with further information on the tuition fees or on the scholarships. You can share them in the chat later if there's need for that. And then I added a slide this morning because we saw all the questions when you registered, and there were quite some questions also about living costs and housing. We offer housing to all students who enroll for an English taught program and didn't do their previous education in the Netherlands. So if you did your previous program abroad and you live abroad, then and you apply for MMD, then you can apply for housing assistance. The housing has its own deadline, but they happen to coincide with our deadline. So non-European students 1st of April and European students 1st of May. Once you're admitted, probably around May, we start sending out vouchers. The university sends you a link and a voucher. And on the link, you can view all the accommodation. You see pictures, size, location, how many people you share facilities with, etc. And then you can choose with your voucher which one you want to move into. And in the picture, you, for example, see one of the more expensive one where you only share the facilities with 2 other students and you live smack in the middle of the city center and close to the train station. The most expensive ones, like this one, are around 650 euros per month. The cheaper ones are 450 euros. So depending on what you choose, that can change quite a bit. And the other living costs on top of accommodation are around 600 euros for transport, books, food, clothes, etc. So count on between 1,000 and 1,300 euros per month. That is also if you're a non-European student, what you need to prove for your visa. So if you need to apply for a visa to come to the Netherlands, you'll need to prove that you have this amount of money. If you get a Radboud Encouragement Scholarship, this covers it completely. If you're interested to hear more, learn more, speak to more people from the program, please come and visit us at other events. We have an open day coming up on the 15th of March, which is hybrid, where you can also join online. Annemarie and Mami and me will also, no, Mami not this time, some other students will also be there. And you can also join us at education fairs. We have coming up in the next few days, a few weeks. I'll be in the UK and in Spain in February. My colleague will be in Poland. So please have a look at this website and join any of our events if you want to learn more. Do reach out to us on admissions@radboudunc.nl. It's the email address that me and 2 of my colleagues work on. And as Mami said, we're always there to help. And we, I think, try to make it a really personal approach as well. So any problems you run into, please don't be afraid to ask, because we really try to help. If you have any questions, also have a look at our website, which is mentioned here, and follow us on LinkedIn. We have a page where, for example, we also post a day in the life of an MMD student or an interview with an alumni. So lots of interesting information there. And then there's the handles for the social media of the university, in case you would be interested in that. That was it for us today. If you have any questions, please ask them in the question box, so Luc can do the moderating and we can answer them questions. And thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, thank you. And thank you already, Loes, Annemarie, and Mami. Hopefully that information came across well. Well, if not, then this is your moment to ask any question. So we're going to go over some questions that we already received. And hopefully we can answer them, and otherwise we can come back to you later. Also important to mention, just to make sure, there is a link section. So if you go to apps at the bottom and then links, there's a lot of links already displayed about the application information, but also testimonials. Some of the information that was shown in the presentation, so you can see it all there, and also the scholarships actually. So do check that out. And let's start with the question. So we had a question from Sieda. She's looking for a research in plant genetics. Is that a part of this program as well?
Annemarie, do you want to take this one? Or?
No, unfortunately, we focus on human biology and biomedical applications.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, yeah. Do you, by the top of a head, know of a program at Radboud that is dealing with that? Because you mentioned, or they can go to the website.
Yes, I think there's biology at the science faculty, so that's an option.
Okay, so check out the website to find that information. Rashid has a question. I have an English proficiency, a medium of instruction from my previous institution, and also have done 2 years of English language. Can these fulfill as a language requirement?
I'll take that one, yeah. Just the letter of English proficiency as the medium of instruction would never be sufficient. However, after an interview, you can always ask us to exempt you with a good motivation. And we will then talk as admissions office to the board of examiners to see if an exemption for you individually is in place. but I cannot promise that from what you write here. But it's definitely worth asking us.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next question from Panagiota. I'm currently living in Greece. I have to pass the certification if I want the master to be valid to other European countries. So do I have to pass the certification?
No, just the program itself. If you obtain the diploma, that's valid in the rest of Europe as well, and the rest of the world even. Sometimes we get requests from students applying, for example, in the States or in their home country, that they maybe need an extra document, which we're always happy to make. For example, where the GPA is calculated differently, or it's more explicitly said that certain things are in English or certain things are included in the course. We can always make such a document, but in the basis, the diploma is recognized worldwide.
Good. Well, I see a thumbs up. So I guess that's answering that question. Ervan had a question. Is it okay to contact a professor after completing the application? And it was followed up by saying the reason is to contact the professor to get more information about their research.
Yeah, I think that really goes outside of the master's program. We have a lot of researchers at the Radboud University. You can find them at or the Radboud University Medical Center. You can find them at our website, radboudumc.nl/research. You can always contact them to ask things about their research. There's no guarantee that they'll reply. But mostly our researchers are also very happy to talk about what they do.
Yeah, I'd like to add, though, that they're also very busy, and it's absolutely not a requirement to because we get that question quite often. Apparently, in some countries, it's very common to have to reach out to a professor, but for us, it's not a requirement for the admissions or anything.
Okay, there you are. Good, thank you. I hope that answered that. Question from Iona. I would like to know more about the CV and the motivation letter.
That you need to include in the application, you mean, then, I guess. So the CV basically just has your personal details and an overview of your study and maybe relevant work. And the motivation letter really needs to show that you dived into the program. So why do you like this program over, for example, molecular biology elsewhere? Or and the motivation letter, you can also describe why you think you're a good match. We're not necessarily looking for personal experiences with certain diseases, but more how does your background fit the program, and what do you know about the program? How well do you know the program? I don't know if you guys have anything to add there, Annemarie or Manu? No. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry about that. The polling got put on the screen. That was a new polling, but now it's available. Or you can answer it, and then we'll go away. And otherwise, it's available on the right bottom. So thank you all for your polling answers. By the way, we appreciate that. Yeah, sorry. Next question. We go to the question from Noyus. Is from Lithuania, high school student, and a strong passion for biology and chemistry. Well, he's having a degree as a pharmacy at the LSMU, and that's Lithuania, as a bachelor. Would that degree qualify for the research master?
I don't think pharmacy is the best match. We've had in the past some students applying from a pharmacy program, but generally molecular biology or medical biology or biomedical sciences or molecular life sciences is a better match. Annemarie, I don't know if you have experience with pharmacy students in the program?
No, not that I know of. It is possible if your degree allows you to take some free choices in courses. So if you could take some more cell biology, molecular biology courses. But we're not very heavy on things like toxicology and that sort of things.
Okay. Hopefully that is answering the question. Otherwise, let us know. Yep. Good. I see thumbs up. Question from Turkey. Can I come as a researcher? And how about applying for a visa to come and study?
If you want to come to work here as a researcher, then we are not involved because we work for the student offices. You can either apply for a PhD position, which is a paid job in the Netherlands, or any other positions you see advertised. But all research positions usually are already in place with a grant, and then you apply for the complete package. And there's a website called Academic Transfer where all research positions in the Netherlands are advertised. So I would recommend to look there. Usually, if you do get a job, if you do get hired, the company or the institution will help you with the visa and the residence permit and the work permit.
Okay, and I hope that answering. I don't know if Mami, you came from Turkey, I believe.
I might just said, yeah, maybe for MMD visa, it was very smooth for me. It's basically after the getting the scholarship and the admission, they just sent me a letter. I filled it out form, and then I just went to the embassy, and in a week they just gave my visa. So
yeah, I think what's different for Netherlands compared to a lot of other countries is that the university has to basically do all the work for the visa, and of course you as a student have to upload a lot of documentation, but we are the ones applying on your behalf. So then the actual collection is not a huge deal anymore. I know that I used to work and live in England where we had like it's only 60% visa approval for students because they had to do it completely by themselves. And in our case, it's almost 100% because we know beforehand whether or not we think you will stand the chance, so we'll let you know. But we can tell you exactly which documents you need to show and how much finances you need to prove, what the documents should look like. So all of that we check before we send it to the embassy.
Okay. Good. Well, hopefully that answered that part. And next question we have is from Sierra. How difficult is it to get into the program?
Maybe, Mami, do you want to share your experience?
I would say, I don't know the numbers of how many people are applying and etc. But
yeah, why don't you tell you about for you the process, how easy or smooth that went, and then we'll talk about the numbers.
Yeah, process for me. So basically, as Louis discussed, I uploaded the CV, my motivation letter, and obviously I checked the program before I applied. I knew what kind of program it was, and then I had an interview with two scientists, and it was a nice discussion, as I said. I think first we have to pass the motivation letter and such a part, then you might get in the invitation for the interview. And the interview was also nice. I mean, they were very nice and kind people, I would say. And we discussed science. So they asked me questions and how would you do about it, etc. Yeah, it was a just nice discussion for me.
I think also with the interview, the purpose for us is to get to know the real you, not just see the nervous you, because the real you is the one that's going to study here. So we don't want you to just be stuttering and nervous and not being able to say anything. So I think a part of what the interviewers always do is try to put you at ease. And if they think you know the answer maybe, but can't find the right words, they will try and guide you a little bit. In terms of numbers, I don't know the exact numbers on the top of my head, but I think we do get a lot more applications than we have places, but also a lot of students don't get accepted, don't even go through for the interview. However, if you have the right study background and your grades are above average, then we always will try to give you the chance. We have, I don't think, well, might be a while ago, but we've never had to refuse students who were really good because we had too many really good applicants. We have been able to place all the really strong applicants in the program, and then there's always a bit of grayer area. And I think I'm looking at Annemarie as well. I don't know if you have the numbers.
Yeah, I'd say typically if we have 24 students to start with, there were around 75 applications. And then 50 of those get an interview, and then you have maybe a 50% chance of getting into the program.
Yeah, I'm glad you say 75. In my head, I had 60 to 100, so that's probably. We can look up the numbers. So if you email us, we can also talk about that. Thanks. Is that answered?
I hope it answered the question. Otherwise, let us know. It was from Sieda. Or anyone else who wants to know more, let us know. We still have a couple of minutes. Last questions actually are coming in. Iona, yeah, I think so. Do we have to apply through StudyLink?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's the very first starting point of your application. After do all the reading and check the website, but you start in StudyLink. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Next question is from Andres. Do you have an age limit for enrollment in the masters?
No, but I think the average age is between 21 and 26. So it's fine, you can apply, but just keep in mind that you might be, if you're an older student, you might be much older than the others, but there's no age limits. There might be some age limits for housing or student loans, etc., but not for the program.
Okay, thank you. Great. Excuse me. Question from Li Kuo. How high do your grades have to be?
Yeah, we in Dutch we have a system from 1 till 10, 10 being the highest, and we say at least 7.5. But it's also depending on which courses. So if you score high in very relevant courses, but you had some lower grades on less relevant courses, then that's not such a problem. Or if you have been ill for a period and you scored a bit lower, you can also explain that to us. But basically 75% out of 100 you should aim for. But I know you cannot convert it like that to all the other grading systems. Because in the Netherlands, where the open questions and essays, they always say, a 10 is for God, a 9 is the teacher, and an 8 is the highest the student can get. So 7.5 then all of a sudden is quite high. I hope that helps a bit. There are grade conversions available on the website as well. So you could look what 7.5 in Dutch would mean in your country. Okay. I see some questions are also already answered in the chat.
Yeah, so thanks. Good to hear. Indeed. No Use has a question. Would this path enable me to build a career in virology or a related field?
Oh, you want? So there are some courses related to virology, and there are some internship opportunities. Actually, two of my friends, they're working on virology now.
Yes, we have a great medical microbiology department here at Radboud University Medical Center. So that's definitely a possibility.
Great. Thumbs up again. We like to see those. Xenia has a question. Last one for now. Can you please repeat whether there will be scholarships for students in 2026? And Annemarie, you answered this, but just to make it sure for everybody.
Yeah, it's still to be determined. We definitely hope so. We had 6 this year. It might be a few less because in the Netherlands a lot of budget cuts are going on from the government. So we're not 100% sure. But as soon as we know it, we will publish it on the website, and it will be at the latest this summer. But I hope we know a little bit earlier.
Good. Then watch out for that information in the summer. I think those were the questions we've received so far. Just to make sure, I'm also dropping, to make sure that the scholarship links that some people were wondering about, it's also under apps in the link section, right? So do check that out. Maybe now is a good time to check that section out because we're at the end of the session. So if you click on the links, you can open them and watch some videos and some other parts that were mentioned. right after. Anyway, you can always access this webinar back, by the way. It is also being recorded. If you join late, you can even stay on and it will restart within a couple of minutes. So just for everybody to know, and for people that are watching the recording, you can actually still write questions and participate in the pollings as well. So we do like to hear from everybody. So by all means, do that. And yeah, we just had some last polling question. I have one more, but there was still what kind of information you were still looking for. So if there's now that you haven't answered that, let us know, so then we can also take that into consideration. And let me see, I think we're wrapping up. Good. Yeah, just check. No, there's no more further questions. So having said that, I think then everything is good for the audience. I'd like to thank everybody for having joined. Of course, the audience that joined in from a lot of different countries, as I saw. So that's great to see from people from all over the world. You could just be in the same class next semester or next year. So that could be the case. And from my side, thanks, Luz, Annemarie, and Mami for your insights and your presentations. Maybe last word over to Luz or Annemarie to just wrap up the session, and then I finish with the polling.
Okay, well, I cannot add much more than thank you very much. I really hope you have learned a lot about the program and are enthusiastic. If you do have questions, please email us at admissions@radboudumc.nl. Maybe we can share that one in the chat as a last one. And I think also on behalf of Mami and Anne-Marie, unless you want to add something, thank you very much, and hope to see you, to receive your applications and see you in August. Who knows?
Yes, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.